guest speaker. All right, welcome back to another masterclass for 7 Ways to Wealth. And today we have an amazing guest speaker. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited for today's masterclass. Her name is Candra Ward, and she is a life and book coach, guys. She helps women and men. Don't worry about it. She's gonna help y'all too, okay? With their either professional or entrepreneur. She helps them heal, she helps them rebuild and repurpose, and helps them tell their stories through writing books. She is an amazing author and coach, and a good friend of mine. Her name is Candra Ward. Hey, Candra, you have the floor.
Oh, there we go. Hey, everybody. Oh my God, this is so exciting. Hi, guys. Hi, Morning Meetup family, whoever's in the Morning Meetup. I am super excited about, how long do I have, first of all?
Okay, so you have 30 minutes. You can, sometimes we go a little bit over, but you have anywhere between 30 minutes, and then we'll use like the last 10 minutes for Q&A.
Okay, so I need to talk fast then. All right.
All right.
Well, I have 60 minutes worth of stuff for you guys, but I'll condense it into 30 minutes. It's okay. Follow the rules. So really quickly, let me introduce myself. But first of all, I want to share my win. Let me show y'all a picture. Can I share my screen? Let me see.
Yeah.
It says disabled.
Okay, you have capabilities now.
Okay, let me try. I want to share my screen with you guys. It's not coming up. Hold on, let me see if I can pull this up really quickly. Okay, can y'all see?
Yep.
So that's my son, and we launched his first book right here. So we drove to Atlanta this past weekend. So he is out book signing. This is some pictures that he's taking with people. He also has a hair product line over there, but this is our first book with more to come. He actually took some pictures with a celebrity. Let me show you guys really quickly. Where's that picture? Him. So this guy does hair for like Tyler Perry's crew. He does hair for like all of the singers, the rappers, Nicki Minaj, all them things. And he does hair for like Sex and the City, like, TV shows. So I was so excited because he bought the book. He took pictures of the products, and he was like, I'll be talking to you. So I'm like super excited about it. So my little baby is excited. So that's one of my wins this week. So thank you all for sharing that with me. All right, let me stop sharing.
Yes. Congratulations. We love that.
I'm talking about Black Boy Joy.
All right, I'm trying to get out, y'all. Hold on. I act like I don't know how to use Zoom. 1 second. Let me stop. Oh, there we go. Stop sharing. I couldn't find it. But thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right. So I want to get into tonight. All right. So how many of you want to write a book? I'm going to talk fast. How many of you want to write a book? Can I see your faces? I like to see faces. I like to see who I'm talking to. Come on, y'all. Come on off. So let me see your name. Kayla wants to write a book. Bruce. Who else? Brianna came on. Hey, Brianna. All right. So how to tell your story when writing a book. So I just want to call 2 of you off, and I just want you to share with me really briefly, just 60 seconds on what you would like to write your book about. Kayla, since you raised your hand first, I'm gonna go with you first.
I would like to write a book on my story about being dyslexic and to give teaching points to future nursing students and people who have reading and learning disabilities, and even ADD or ADHD and things like that, or how they can enter into healthcare and have maybe study tips and things like that in the back.
You want to know what's funny? I'm dyslexic. I am. So it's so funny. I have adult dyslexia. So I totally understand. And it's so needed because it's like we're the forgotten ones. Right. So that's good. Thank you. Bruce, where you go? There you go.
Hey, Bruce, so no skills to you. I'm going to write a book on why the most important part of your sales process is your people. And so the best way to increase your revenue is increase the skills of your people.
Oh, that's good. That's real good. Awesome. One more person. Anybody else? Brianna?
Yeah, so my book, I hope it doesn't sound weird, but I would love to write about how we're all interconnected and how understanding
Uh-oh. Brianna, I'm losing you.
and how, can you hear me?
Go ahead.
No?
No,
Okay.
go ahead.
So just basically a book about how everything that we know and we've been taught is connected, and how all of the little pieces from our past connect us to where we're at right now.
Gotcha.
And just that a lot of people are lost, but they don't need to be lost because they've already been equipped, and understanding that we're all connected to each other, that we're all connected to the earth. We don't need to look outside for something that's already within. So that's what I really want to talk about in my book.
I love that. Thank you. I will call on more of you, but only have a short amount of time. So I'm going to jump right in. Let me tell you a little bit about me really quickly. Candra Ward, originally from Philadelphia. I lived in Miami for 11 years. And I have two sons. I have a 30-year-old and I have an 8-year-old. And that's the 8-year-old that you just saw. I'm an author of 19 books. I used to own a salon for 15 years in Philadelphia. So I turned from a salon owner to a traveling global speaker and author and coach. I travel around the globe with the beauty industry. I taught at a lot of functions, a lot of conferences. Actually, I just left. I have one next month and I have one at the end of the month. I don't know if you guys heard of Bronner Brothers, but Bronner Brothers will be in Miami next month. So I'll be a teacher there. And so I have some things going on this month. So that's what I do. I've been writing since I was a little girl. I stopped writing for a few years. I just had no interest in it, but then God brought me back full circle, back to writing and now teaching others how to write. I just launched my publishing, coaching, and consulting company. We already have 7 people on board. We have an editor, we have an interior designer, we have a writing coach, we have a branding coach, and we have a health and wellness coach, and we have 2 life coaches and a licensed therapist. The reason why I have coaches on board in a publishing company, because just like Christina shared with you, I help you to heal first. A lot of times we start these businesses, these coaching businesses, these books, and we're not healed ourselves. And a lot of times what happens is when you're writing your book and you're not healed, you're pretty much spewing your trauma into the book. And the purpose is to create a solution and a transformation for your readers and your clients. And what's happening is you're allowing them to leave hurt with you. So this is why I teach the heal first. Now, there are some instances where you will get your healing while you're writing, and that's fine. But we just want to make sure that you don't leave the ending up in the air because you're not healed. So that's one of the things that I do. And I'm super, super excited about it. And that's where the life coaching comes in it. All right. So let's get started. I'm the type that have you writing. I'm going to call on some of you asking questions. We got to move quick, y'all, because these minutes is going like this. So I want you guys to get your pens and papers out, and I'm going to ask you a few questions. And I really want you to think about it. Why do you want to write a book? So write down why you want to write a book first. Okay. You can shorthand. Why do you want to write a book? Like, what's your why? The next thing, what is your book going to be about? Some of you already shared it, but just write it down. What's your book going to be about, or what would you like it to be about? Okay. Who is your book for? Who's your target demographic? Remember, we can't write to everybody, because in your book, your reader, your target reader has to know that you're talking directly to them. If you show any type of confusion, they're putting the book down and they're probably not going to pick it back up. And by them not picking it back up, that means they won't buy anything else from you if you're having like a coaching program or something, because they see confusion when they see you. So you have to be very clear on who you're writing to and niche down very tight with that. Okay. What's keeping them up at night? So you already wrote down why you want to write it and what it's about, but what is keeping your target reader up at night? Why are they beating down your social media doors to get to you? This is very important. And it also helps if you are talking about something that you are currently going through or that you've been through, because you can actually speak from the heart instead of Googling your answers. A lot of writers that push these books out, they do PLR, and I'm not against it, so I'm not knocking it, but hear me clearly. A lot of writers that get PLR, and which is fine in certain instances, but they get PLR, private labeling, or you have coaches that say, I'm gonna teach you how to write your book in 7 days and things like that. But let's be real, when you're really trying to create a transformation, it takes a little bit of time and it takes a little bit of effort to really get what you need to put in that book, okay? So what's keeping them up at night? And lastly, what's the number one transformation that you need them to have? Not that you want them to have, but that you need them to have. So I'm going to call on one person before we move on. Would anybody like to? Okay, Bruce. So Bruce, what's the number one transformation that you need your target reader to have?
They can confidently close deals, increasing their revenue while remaining their authentic self.
That's good. So if I told you to shorten that, because we had a couple of seconds, tell me really quickly. That was short, but shorten it even shorter.
Be yourself and make more money.
Got you. Because sometimes we have to just hit it and quit it, especially when we're coming up with titles, because that may be too long for a title, and it may be good as a subtitle where you have a basic title. So, but just still play around with it, but I still get your point. But I want you guys to hit it, quit it with a couple of words. I need to know, how can you help me with like 4 to 5 words, okay? All right, so let's get down the list. So I have 6 pillars that I normally use in my coaching programs, my courses, and how I write my books. And I just shared with Kayla that I was dyslexic as well. So my dyslexia is not, I can read well, I can spell well, but sometimes words end up backwards. Sometimes I'm the type of person I have to read a page like 6 times before I actually get it. It just all depends, right? So I'd like to share that because when I write my books and I frame my courses and coaching programs, I like to work in 3s or 6s. First of all, it's easier for your reader, it's easier for your client and your buyers, right? So I always teach my clients and my students how to create pillars in 3s and 6s. So I have 6 pillars teaching you guys on how to write your book. So I condensed it very easy. All right. So number 1 is clarity. We just went through a couple of things with clarity. I want you to grab your pens and papers as well. I'm sorry I'm talking so fast, y'all, because I know we got short time. I hope you have time to write some things down. So within clarity, I want you guys to ask yourself the questions that I just asked you. The next thing that you have to do is research. Now that you know why you want to write a book, who you're writing it to, what you're writing it about, and what transformation you want them to have, now it's time to do the research on your ideal target demographic, because you want to see what they're looking for. You may know what they need, but a lot of times their needs are in their wants. So you have to see what they like and what they want, because most times people don't even really know what they need. They don't know how to express it. They just they start looking at other things on what they want. But you have to put, you know how when you have children, you have to put like the Tylenol inside the juice. They want the juice, but they need the Tylenol to get rid of the fever. So it's the same thing with your target demographic. So you have to know what their wants are and then their needs. After the research, now you have to research your competition. I always talk about healthy competition. Go on Amazon, go on Instagram, and see what your competition is writing about. See the type of content they're talking about. See what their books look like. How are their covers? What are their titles like? Who's commenting under on the comment section saying, oh my God, I can't wait to work with you. Well, why can't they wait to work? Why can't they wait to work with them? Look at their posts. That post is interesting. Now that will help you create content for your book. So that's just one thing, guys. All right. All right. So after we do that, so we're talking about you want to target your readers, competition, look at your industry as a whole. You can go on, oh my gosh, I just had a brain freeze. You can go, I'll give you those links later because I can't think of them right now, but you can go and just start doing some research and looking at your content. You know what I'm talking about, Christine? What are the sites that you can go on? You can put your keywords in.
Oh, Google Trends is one of
Trend,
them.
yes, and it's another one, Google Trends and another one. So you can go inside of there and that will really help you create content for your book. All right. The next thing we'll talk about that in a few is title and cover, but it's your mindset. Everybody wants to have an ebook. Everybody wants to write a book, but are you really up for it? Do you want to just write a book just to say you have a book, or do you want to write a book that's transformational, that's going to be prolonged, that's going to get you on stages, that's going to fill out your coaching programs? I don't teach people how to write just quick books so they can make quick money. I want your book to be able to get you on stages. I want your book to be able to get you inside of rooms. All right. We writing real books over here. So you have to have the mindset for, are you ready? Are you ready for the exposure? Are you ready to get on a whole bunch of podcasts? Because as soon as you say you're an author and you start creating your author brand, a lot of people are going to want you to get on their podcasts and things like that. They're going to want you to get on their TV shows, especially if you do good PR on your own and if you have a good PR. Okay. After that, I want you to write your ideal life narrative as a new author. And if you already have a book, still create an ideal life narrative. So what that is, you are writing a story in present tense as if it's already happened, right? So I am Candra, I am the CEO of this and that, which may not have happened yet, but I am writing as if it's already happened, because you got to see yourself there. This way, it'll be so much easier to get your book out, get your words on the pages, and get in front of your audience, okay? And now we just got out of the clarity pillar. I hope I can make it through some of them, so I'm gonna shorten this up really quickly. I'll move to the next pillar. So the next pillar, after we're clear, after we know the who, what, why, when, and how, and where, I want you to learn how to connect. So the part of the connecting is your writing plan, okay? I do something called list mapping that helps you to write your book more clearly. Of course, I shared with you pillars, because in order to have an effective book, you have to have a framework. In order to have an effective framework, you have to have pillars, right? Especially if you're a coach, you know that you cannot teach without pillars, because you have to have something to follow. And I don't know if you guys ever picked up books and you saw how the books were separated in sections, like section 1, section 2. Most times they are sectioned out as pillars. Like, for example, I have a movement called Rise, Reposition, and Rebuild, and that's just my next book coming out. Those are my 3 pillars, and my book is sectioned Rise, Reposition, Rebuild. There's 3 chapters in each section. So it's much easier because you never want to lose your reader, okay? So connect, writing plan, list mapping, you're creating your pillars, your chapter titles, and your outline. So this is a really in-depth section, and I know I don't have time, so I can't really dig deep, but I do want to tell you guys, I wrote a workbook just for authors. I have the complete outline in here. I made it so simplistic. You know, like if you didn't decide to work with a coach at the time or work with me, you can definitely get the book. This takes you from A to Z on how to get your book done. The book cover, it has writing tips. It teaches you how to publish, but I have a full complete outline in here. This is where people get stuck. They get stuck on creating. All right. All right, y'all. All right, y'all. Doing good. I'm doing good. If you have any questions, just put it in the chat, guys. So let me just run through list mapping real quick. So if you have an issue with writing, you may not have time, you may have 2 and 3 businesses going on. What I want you to do, and especially if you're writing a story, Bruce is different because he's writing a self-help, he's writing a business book, and you can actually do the same thing. But let me start with the story. Let's just take Kayla, for example. Matter of fact, no, I'll take Kayla, for example. So she's talking about dyslexia. So I'm sure that you're going to share your story within your book, correct? Yes, Christine? Oh, you're going to share your story within your book, right? So what you want to do is you want to think about what happened in your childhood, in your young adulthood, growing up with dyslexia. And I want you to write all of those things down. So when you write those down, now you have some meat for your book. How do you dissect that? So I do a little exercise with my clients, and I tell them, hey, I want you to get somebody, a family or a friend, right? And I want you to have them ask you questions. This is where people struggle because they're like, I don't know what to say. I get brain blocked. I know what happened in my past. I know I was abandoned as a child. I know I got teased in school, but I don't know how to really elaborate that. So what you do is you ask somebody, communicate that, I'm sorry. You ask somebody, hey, can you ask me questions? So Kayla, what happened when you were 12 and you were in 6th grade at such and such school? Now it's going to refresh your memory. So what you're going to do now, you are going to take your phone. You are going to open up an app called Temi, Temi, or Rev, REV. And as soon as your cousin asks you, so Kayla, what happened to you when you were 12? You're going to give them the questions though. What happened to you when you were 12 at, in 6th grade and your teacher such and such teased you? Now you're going to close your eyes, you're going to have the app open and you're going to go back to that time and you're going to start talking. This is one easy way that you can remember. Once you start talking, you know what, when I was 12 and you're going to flow and flow and flow. And what this app is going to do is going to record your words and it's going to transcribe for you. I hope I'm not losing anybody because I know I'm moving fast. It's going to transcribe for you, okay? Once that transcribes for you, if you keep doing that, you will have a book in no time. But of course, you have to outline it and do it within each chapter, okay? So let me move on because I can't go in too much depth with that. So we have the outline. So I'll go to the 3rd pillar. We probably won't make all the pillars. I'll go to the 3rd pillar. Now that we've gotten clear, now that we've connected the dots, because now we know how to create a writing plan, which is pretty much knowing how many word counts you want to write, setting up your place of peace, where you want to write, what time of day you want to write. Do you want to write 1 chapter or 2 chapters those days? That's all contingent inside of the writing plan. Then we go to the create. The create part is actually writing the book, getting your first draft done, creating your title, and then creating your cover, okay? The reason why I did not tell you to create your title and your cover in the clarity section, because a lot of times people are new to this and they don't even know what they're writing about yet. So if you pressure yourself to come up with a title and a cover right away, it's gonna make you stagnant because now you have to live up to that title. Now, I'm the type, I create titles first, but a lot of people, they have to start writing first. And then once they get into the groove of writing, now the title comes easier to them. And once the title comes easier, now it's easier to visualize how you want your cover to be. 2 things that's going to sell your book, not what's inside, but the title and the cover. Your cover has to be ground shaking. Like I have to be able to scroll through Amazon or walk through Barnes and Nobles and be like, wow, because that's what attracts people's attention, your title and your cover, right? It can't be like now, sometimes you can have a basic title and a popping cover and it might pick up. Sometimes you can have a popping title and a basic cover and it might pick up. But if you have a popping title and a popping cover, it's a wrap from there. They're buying it without even opening the book, okay? So very important. All right. So along with the writing, what I like to tell people, you want to make sure when you're writing, you tell a story and then you make a point, especially when you're writing an autobiography. You never want to just always talk about yourself the entire time. You want to tell a story and make a point. So what does that look like? You go ahead and tell a story of what happened to you, how you got out of what you were in, and then you make a point. This is how it should be done. Because remember, it's about your reader. It's really not about you. So when you're writing, it's really about your reader. So have your reader in mind when you are writing, okay? All right, let's move on really quickly. How many more minutes I have, Christina?
I'm not timing you.
Okay, I'm just trying to, I want to be respectful. Okay, so we have that. I'll just move on to the next. And if you guys have any questions, I'll just come back. All right, so the next pillar that we're going to go through is the author branding. So we went through clarity, who, what, why, when, and how. We went through connecting, because now that we're clear who we're writing to and what we're writing about, now we can connect the dots and create the outline. The next thing, once the outline is created, now we can just drop and drag with the actual writing. Okay, so that's the writing of the book, creating the title, and then the cover. Now, here is the real deal, because you can write 100,000 books, and if we don't get this part down and the last one that I'll show you, it doesn't matter. Author branding. We live in an age now where if you don't keep up, you getting lost. Like it's no short way around it. Instagram is changing every other day. You know, video is everything. Forget pictures and posts now. You got to be your own, studio. Like you got to dedicate one whole room in your house and you are your own TV station, okay? So you know how things are changing. It's like, whoa, what happened? You got to buy lights. You got to buy all lights, camera, action. So this is the part where you either guerrilla market it or you just get some cash together and you get some help, which is not that expensive, but you got to make sure you get the right help, right? So being a branded author, number one, we talk about great photos, right? We're talking aesthetics now. Great photos. People are all about image. Image is everything. Great photos. Clean up your social media. If you are an author and you're trying to present yourself as an author, okay, let me rephrase that. You may not just want to present yourself as an author. You may be an entrepreneur that is an author. So I'll rephrase that. So I'm not going to say put yourself out there as just an author, but you still want to make sure that your social media is capturing the people that will buy your book. So that means your social media must speak that you are an entrepreneur that is an author. Right? You are a realtor, that's an author. You are a nurse, that's an author. So you want to portray that, okay? And that all goes with your cover, that goes with your title, that goes with your content. The content that you are going to create for your social media and your new author branding is going to be content from your book. That content from your book is going to come from your chapter titles and the subtopics and the meat that's after the subtopics, okay? So you don't have to search around Google to look for content. All of the content that you need is within your book, okay? All right. Along with the social media, you want to make sure that you have a campaign going. And I don't want to get too deep into marketing, but you want to make sure that you have a campaign going. You want to make sure that you have a podcast or either get on other people's podcasts because you got to get your word and your name out. It's a misconception that you become rich off of a book. Unless you have a large following and you can just drop a book the next day, then you're good. But books are really just doors that they're just something that open doors for you to get you on larger stages. Yes, you make money from it. Don't get me wrong, because there you can make six figures off of becoming an author, but you got to put in a lot of work. You got to sell a lot of $20 books. You got to sell a lot of $14.99 books. And this is where authors, mess up because, oh, I'm an author now. I'm a bestseller now. And your friends buy it, your family buy it, and then the third month crickets. And it's like, well, what happened? Because you gotta push it, push it, push it. I always like to tell my clients to couple it with a workbook, couple it with a course, couple it with a coaching program, or couple it with a membership. Just don't leave your book out there hanging by itself. Okay. All right, let's move on. So after the author branding, community. So now that you have your brand out there, and you don't have to have your brand 100% because we got to start building community ASAP. But you want to make sure that you have some things in order so you don't turn people off when it's time to start building your tribe and your community. So now when you start getting yourself out there by going live and you start doing your TikToks and your reels and things of that nature, then when people come to your page, which they will, and they don't see clear pictures and they don't see content that's talking about what they need to hear, they're out of there and they're probably not going to come back. And if they happen to run back into you, it's probably because one of your reels came back through and they're like, let me check them out again. But you want to make sure you capture them on the first try, okay? So this is why author branding is so important before building your community. With building your community as an author, creating a Facebook group is amazing, because you want to make sure that you find a place to house them so you can talk to them, right? Social media is very, very crowded. So you can have a text, community, a free text community. You can have a Facebook community. You can get your own community off the app, but if you want to do it free, Facebook text community, and then, just start talking to your people every day or every other day, however you set your content schedule up, and you're talking to them about things within your book, okay? Because they're coming to you as the expert, all right? After community, I'm almost done here, is communicate. So now that you're building your community, you always want to serve before you sell. Serve before you sell is so, so important, because people need to know that they can trust you. People need to know that you're just, I don't like being sold to. Now, I may go to a store knowing I need something, but I don't like I went to Orlando a couple of weeks ago on my timeshare, and they were giving out a free $100 certificate. Little crazy little 60-minute meetings. Y'all probably done been to them things that just drive you crazy. So I already know the still, all right, I'm gonna tell them no, they're gonna bring their supervisor. I had it all together, right? I already know what I was going to say, but when they was at the table, I'm like, I don't like being sold to, even though I know they were going to try to sell to me. It's just something, as human beings, we just don't like to be sold to. I want you to come to me authentically. I want to, even if you fake it, like you're not trying to sell to me, just act like you're trying to be my friend. So that's what you want to keep in mind. So when we talk about communicate, we're talking about publishing your book, right? Because we already have it written, we're building your community. Now you're publishing it, and now you are marketing it. So whatever marketing platform that you're, if you're doing Facebook ads, you're doing Instagram ads, you're doing Instagram you're doing influencers, however you're marketing yourself, get yourself out there. I am a fan of Clubhouse. Clubhouse, to me, I'm gonna be honest with you, you can grow so fast on Clubhouse. It's not even funny. Like, IG is great. TikTok is amazing, but I was listening to Marty Woodard, and he said something like, TikTok and Reels are just for you to like nurture, right? I think, no, for them to visit, to see you. I'm messing it up, but for them to just really notice you, right? But when you get on lives and Clubhouse and things like that, it's easier to sell to them because you're nurturing them. They hear you in person. You're like a real person at that point. They're not talking to a video or commenting at a video. You can communicate back and forth. Now it's easier to make a sale. So you do a Clubhouse room. Hey, I just want to share my thoughts about my new book, blah, blah, blah. And then once you start digging in, you pull somebody on stage, you get there. And next thing you know, you've been sold to most of the room, your book. And now they want to follow you and join your membership and hire you for one-on-one to teach them. So Clubhouse is a great way to get yourself out there if you don't want to do Facebook ads right away. Of course, your Reels get you visibility. Of course, going live beats anything on IG and Facebook. I'm trying to get my feet wet on IG Live. I'm a Facebook girl, but I'm working my way over there. So you just want to make sure that you get yourself out there. And I'll stop there because I don't want to go over. Oh, one last pillar I have, and this is 7. This is a bonus. Core. I never teach people how to just write a book. I have a pillar called the core, meaning I teach you how to create a core program around your book. That can be your coaching program. That can be your membership. That can be a course. Never have, stick with one. Never have more than one that you're putting out there to go with your book at one time, because you're going to confuse your audience and then they're not going to buy. So you want to make sure that you stick with that one core. It should correlate with your book. And check this out, it doesn't even have to correlate with your entire book. You can create one core program or product with just one chapter out of your book. And you can save the other chapters for another program 6 months later, after you've gotten your audience acclimated to that first one. So I'm done. That's it. I'll give you my links and stuff after questions. All right, done.
Well done.
That was phenomenal, Candra. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, you was just really pouring into the community, and we appreciate you so much. So absolutely, let's dive into Q&A. So whoever has a question, you can unmute, you can raise your hand. However you want to do it, let's go for it. I know you guys have a lot of questions.
I just want to commend you for covering a lot of information quickly.
Thank you.
I really like the part you said that's a lot of $20 books. That's the misconception I see all the time. Like, you could do it, but most people don't do it. So I love that. I definitely encourage you to emphasize that. No questions for me, just great job.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's a lot. I know we see online, making 6 figures fast, 7 figures off an ebook, and that's great. But those people got a large audience already. So you have to think about, if you don't have a large audience, you got to get to that. Unless you have one viral video, and that don't even mean you're going to sell a whole bunch of books. But unless you have, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. Another question?
I have a question.
Mhm.
You mentioned about having a podcast alongside of as a way to build the community, or what if you already have a podcast now?
That's even better.
Can you utilize? Okay.
Yeah, definitely. That, you know what? I would get people. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Mhm.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm saying I currently have a podcast right now on Spotify. And I've always wanted to write a book, or at least like an ebook, because I'm really not a reader. You put words on a page and I'm like, it's gonna take me 3 years to read 2 chapters.
Yeah. Uh-oh, I lost you.
But I'm more of an audio, so substitutes the ebook. But if you recommend doing both, how do we go about doing that? How do I go about growing my community through my podcast to purchase the book?
Oh, so how often do you do your podcast now? Once a week?
Child.
Okay.
Right. So currently I have 2 episodes. I'm working on a 3rd right now.
Okay, so this is what I would say do, just to get yourself organized and doing it. Create yourself a schedule. I was just out there doing it for mine. Create yourself a schedule, right? And start, whatever day you're going to do it, whatever time, stick with that. Go in Canva, get your flyer made, or get somebody on Fiverr to get your flyer made so we can hold you accountable. Put it in your download on your computer or your home screen, wherever you go, so you can see that. Then what I want you to do, I want you to start DMing people that's relatable to your book, like the content that you want to share with your audience. Start DMing people and asking them, would you like to be on my podcast? Or I would like you to have you on my podcast. Make sure it's not just anybody, but make sure they have the same story as you or something similar so that it can be relatable to your audience. And now that'll keep you accountable. I want you to book at least 8 people out. So book yourself 2 months in advance.
Okay, book 8 people.
Yeah, have some backups because people will cancel at the last minute.
Right.
Have some backups. Oh, editing. Kayla. Well, remind me again.
I do. Oh,
go ahead, Brianna. I can't hear. Uh-oh. Brianna?
No, I was saying I do my own content. I create my content through Canva.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
Can you hear me now?
That's fine.
Oh, okay. So I was saying that I do like editing through InstaShot. I do my own editing. I do my own like content creation on Canva. I do all of that.
Great. So I'm going to show you something really quickly, and this is for everybody just to make sure you are accountable.
Okay.
I'm going to go in Canva really quickly.
Okay.
I'm going to show you something. I was just doing this not too long ago. Okay, so this is what I did because I'm bringing my podcast out. My podcast was booming, but I stopped it. I had it last year. So what I did was, I'm starting it again the first week of April. So This is going to be my first guest. So then I created another one. I just, changed the date. That's the second week of August, right? I'm going to change that. I'll have another guest. I'm going to get in some DMs tonight. Third week, I went all the way until the end of the year. That's the last week of the year. All I got to do is switch names, topic, bam, person. Done. Keep you accountable. You don't have to, so now you just grab one and call it a day. Okay. So you do that, you get in some DMs. And what I do.
What platform do you use?
What platform do I do my podcast?
Yes,
I do video podcasts. So I do it on Facebook and YouTube. Yeah, I do live video podcasts. So yeah, so I'm going to have my topics already done, so I don't have to think about topics. Of course, things happen at the last minute when you switch them up, but I just like to have stuff done because I got an 8-year-old. I got another business that I run with him going on. So I don't want to get jumbled again. I had a season of jumbleness last year. I'm trying to get everything organized so my business can just flow smoothly now. So that's a way that you can get it rolling and to keep yourself accountable. Okay. Hope I answered that. Anybody else?
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah, we do have a question in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Anne said, where do you find a good publisher for your book, or can I sell my book without one?
Oh yeah, you can sell your book without one. Yeah, you can self-publish. Most people self-publish today. And I have a full service publishing company, but you can self-publish. Yeah, you don't need, unless you're trying to make New York Times bestseller and things like that. Most people self-publish. Of course, if you don't know how to do it, you hire someone to do the editing for you and to get your ISBN number, your barcodes, and get you on a platform like Amazon or, things like that. But no, you can self-publish.
Okay, and then Kayla was asking about editing. I guess maybe like how you edit the book.
Is Kayla still here?
Yeah, she's here.
Oh, okay.
It was just piggybacking off of the publishing portion of it, because being dyslexic like I am, when I get to writing anything, a lot of times, especially my New Orleans English, it comes out in writing. So getting someone to be able to edit it and look at it with fresh eyes, I guess that goes hand in hand with possibly finding somebody or paying someone to do your publishing and editing and things like that.
Yeah. You have to. Like, I don't even care if you are one of the greatest writers, you still need other eyes to look it over, because our eyes are tricky. Our eyes like really deceive us. Like we can read something 3 times and be like, oh, that looks good. And then read it the 4th time, I'm like, I didn't see those misspelled words. So you always want to have somebody look over it and edit it for you. And normally with the editing process, once you complete it, I'm sorry, my phone keeps going off. Once you complete it, you get it to the editor, and then the editor will give it back to you so you can proofread it. You give it back to them one more time. It goes back and forth like 2 times, right? If y'all really having issues, maybe 3. And then it's good enough. You get the last proofread, and then you send it in. You send it either into Amazon, Lulu, BookBaby. Most people go to Amazon because they're trying to make bestseller. You send it in and you get your author's copy, your proofread copy. So now you can read it again with it actually in your hands. It's different than reading it on the computer than reading it, than having it in your hands, because the mistakes that you missed on the computer, you'll catch when you're reading the actual book. Once that's solidified and that's okay to go, now we can get off to getting our copies done, and we can get copies mailed to us. And now you can go ahead with your launch.
In addition to that, what about converting once you finish all that process, converting the book to an audio book?
Oh yeah. There's programs that you can do that. You can either do it with your own voice, or you can hire somebody to do it with another voice.
Okay.
So you can have your book audio, ebook. You can actually have a written ebook with video content inside of it.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
That's it right there.
But I always tell people to have a paperback. Don't just settle for only ebooks. Ebooks actually convert. I don't want to say they convert faster. I think you make more money faster because all the shipping and stuff you don't have to pay for. You could just send a link for them to download. It's only a PDF. An ebook is nothing but a PDF, unless you put it on that flip book. But so that moves faster. But you always have a paperback book or a hardback, especially if you want to become a speaker, if you want people to hire you to come out. You have to have something tangible in your hand.
Thank you so much, Candra. We have some more questions. Linda asks, do you recommend using KDP or any others?
Most people use KDP, Kindle. Here's the thing though. A lot of people are striving to be bestsellers. I'm not against bestseller, but a lot of coaches and a lot of consultants saying, well, let me, hire me, I can make you a bestseller. But I'm gonna tell you guys what best-selling, being an Amazon bestseller, what it really is. There's two ways. There are some authentic bestsellers on Amazon, but this is how a lot of people become bestsellers. When you write your book, it doesn't mean the book is that good or good at all. When you write your book, what you do is you pick a specific day that you're going to put it your social media followers. Hey, I'm getting ready to do a pre-launch. I need you guys to go purchase the book at 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. So you get about 10, 20 people to purchase it at the same time. And it starts to move the needle on Amazon. Now, the person that you're getting to do it for you, or if you're doing it yourself, they're putting your book in specific categories. Sometimes they put your book in categories that have nothing to do with your book. This is how you get to move up to bestseller really quickly. So all these bestsellers y'all seeing running around is not because their book is just the best. And it's nothing wrong with it, but I'm just telling you guys the back end. People like to have the bestseller because it pushes you up to make you look like you have more authority, which is not a bad thing, but this is how most people are becoming bestsellers, not because their book is just like really a bestseller. Okay. I don't know where that came from. I just felt I need to share that with y'all. Oh, KDP, that's where it came from, KDP. Yes, you can do KDP, that's totally fine. One thing I will let you know though, you're not going to make a lot of money from Amazon. So a good trick for you to do, once you get your book on Amazon, go ahead and get to your bestseller status if that's what you want to do. But get a copy and take it and put it on your own website so you can make all of your money, because you are not getting much from Amazon. They take pretty much all of your money. Like you're just really using Amazon for status at this point. So if you want to make all of your money, you take your book and you put it on your own website and sell it.
I have a question. Are there other platforms besides Amazon that you recommend?
Yeah, Amazon, of course, is number one. But if you want to have printed books, they have something called Book Baby. I love Lulu, Lulu. So I get a lot of my prints off of Lulu. You can get your ISBN number on there, but Lulu is smooth. It's a little less expensive, and you can order in bulk. Now you can order in bulk on Amazon as well, but again, you're still giving Amazon all of your money. So what I do, how I have it set up, and I have to set it up again because I switched my platforms, but Lulu has an option where you can put a link on your website page, your landing page. And when somebody goes on your page to purchase your book, you are not the middleman anymore. Like you don't have to ship your own books out. They just click that link and then Lulu will ship it out to them and you still get your money.
Wow, that's
because I know you don't have time to run to the post office every other day.
So they doing all the fulfillments.
Yes.
I love that. Oh my gosh.
There's a lot of people that do fulfillment. Somebody just connected with me on LinkedIn. It's a company. I have to check him out. He does fulfillments as well. But yeah, it's better than Amazon.
Okay. That sounds really good.
Mm-hmm.
Anne said, awesome.
Yeah.
Linda said, thank you.
You're so welcome.
Yes, this was absolutely amazing, Candra. Like we learned so much. And I know that a lot of people here on the call, they are either authors or they want to become authors. I think everyone, like you said, has a story, right? And you have to, use the book in order to tell your story.
You do.
Yeah, so that's absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much for coming on. So how can everyone find you and connect with you? Do you have, any offers for them at this time?
I do. So I have a couple of things, but I like to stick with one. So I have a book creation boot camp that's starting in August. You can go to bookcreationbootcamp.com. You can check that out. It's $9.97. It's an 8-week program. And I'm an over deliverer, unfortunately. So a lot of times you might get like 9 or 10 weeks out of me. But and we talk throughout the week as well. But it's called Book Creation Bootcamp. I teach you everything that I taught you today, but of course, more in depth. You will walk away in your 8 weeks with either your book done, halfway done, or if you have like a long, it's because normally it takes about 90 days to really get your book written, published, and getting out there. But because I meet with you twice a week, your 8 weeks, your 8 weeks turns into your 12 weeks. So, and I'm really intent when I work with you guys. I help you to tell your story, make your point. I give you the outline. We work together. I help you create the outline. We write all of your chapters out. We come up with your title. We come up with your book covers. I have a publishing company. So I have everybody within the company that can do your cover, create the interior design, get you published without a problem, right? So come on, join me. It's exciting. This is our 3rd go round. I'm really super excited about it. $9.97 is a steal, especially because I'm not out here teaching you guys how to write no willy-nilly books. I have 19 books. I wrote my first book in 2009, right? And I was just writing books after that. I had a sold out stage play from one of my books in 2015. It was called Caught Up. We had over about 390 something people. I had it at FIU down in Miami. And it was phenomenal. I had my friend, she wrote the book. She wrote the stage play from my book. We had 15 cast members and it was awesome. So you can do so much with your book. So I don't just teach you how to write willy-nilly books. Most of my books come from personal experiences. My first book was an autobiography. My second book, which was Caught Up, that I did a stage play, that was a fiction book, but part of my life was in it. 3rd book, a hair book. 4th book, self-development book. I have a plethora of workbooks. This is one of many workbooks. Like, I give a lot of value in my books, and that's what I teach my clients and students to do. So if you want to know more about it and you want to come on and join me in August, go to bookcreationbootcamp.com. If you have already started your book and you just need a little more help and you want to help get your outline done and you don't want to start at that level yet, then I have something called, and I actually just created it before I got on with you guys, because I'm like, well, maybe they want something short. So it's called it's called the 60-minute outline. So what we'll do once we get on the phone together, you tell me what you want to write your book about. We start outlining your book right away. And we're doing this even without a title. Okay, so we start outlining your book right away. You will leave that call with all of your chapters. I like to work in 3, 6, 9, or 12, right? I told you guys 3 and 6 before, but yes, if you have a book that you want to have like 9 or 12 chapters, I tend to stay in the 9 chapter because sometimes 12, it starts to go overboard. So if you have 3, 6, and 9 chapters, we are going to get that before you get off of the call. So once you get off, you'll be clear. You'll already know what your book is about and how you need to write. Okay. And last but not least, if you just want to jump on a call with me, a 30-minute call, then go to bit.ly/chat with Candra. All of this is on one link. I might as well just give y'all the one link. Okay. Put this in the chat, Christine. It's my Instagram link, solo.to/Candra Ward. I don't want to confuse y'all with all these links. So it's solo.to/Candra Ward. I think the best benefit for you guys, though, would definitely be the book creation bootcamp.
All right, I put all the links in the chat. So I put the bookcreationbootcamp.com. I also put Candra's Instagram. So definitely go to her Instagram, give her a follow, jump up in her DMs if you have any additional questions, because I know that she went as fast as she humanly possibly could, and she didn't cover everything. So if you have any questions that you didn't get an opportunity to ask during this call, go ahead and follow her on Instagram so that you can get your question answered. And then go ahead and check out her links and see what she has to offer. So it's solo.to/Candra Ward. So thank you so much for joining us in this Wednesday masterclass. Your masterclass was phenomenal, Candra, and we really, really, really appreciate you. And we appreciate all of the attendees, everyone who came out today, participated, and just listened to all the plethora of information that you provided. So this here is a membership. If you are interested in the 7 Ways to Wealth membership, right now we're running a promotion. So if you are interested, all you have to do is text yes to the text message that you received when you were invited to this call. So you can just text yes for further information and the link for you to join the membership. So it was an absolute pleasure being on this masterclass. Thank you so much for everyone who joined us, and have a blessed evening. Bye.
Bye, everybody.